up, you guys? This is Rob from Gay Guy Plays, and today on the Daily Grind, we're going to be having a chat about Operation Plaguestar. We're going to be taking a look at the loadout that I personally like using, especially in public groups. Then we're going to go over some of the rewards and what I think that you guys should be taking a look at. However, before we start, let's go ahead and take a look at how this whole thing works. It's a very, very simple process. Basically, you go out into Cetus, you go find Konzu, and you select the Operation Plaguestar bounty. Then, as you can see here, and you can find this information on your screen, as you can see, like right here in your orbiter. You just go ahead and click it, and it just takes you through the steps. It's very, very simple. After you go out into the plains, you are sent as the first stage of the bounty to go and pick up a canister, which is found in one of the caves of Cetus. You grab that canister, you go ahead and take it into like the mixer, and it becomes kind of like a defense point. At that point in time, you can go ahead and add in two things: the Eidolon Phylaxis, which is created by a blueprint that you can pick up from Nakak. Still one of my favorite names out there. So you can go ahead and craft those up. And then there's an infested catalyst that is made in the lab of your clan dojo. Many clans already have this in state because of the fact that they were around for the previous Plaguestar event. So just go ahead and pick it up there, or if your clan is newer, go ahead and kind of research that and you should be ready to go. You're gonna need 4 in order to get full spawns on the, oh my god, what is it called? The Horcrux? The Hematite. I knew it started with an H, which is basically like Lephantis, but out in the plains. And we'll go ahead and have a little bit of a chat about that in a second, but basically, after you go ahead and mix all of that up in the mixer and add your extra juice, all right? You're going to need 4 of each for the max, but, you know, whatever. If you're not going to do it all the way, then don't even worry about it. Then after you go ahead and defend that point, you'll go ahead and take that canister. You'll take it to a bit of a drone. The drone will then lead itself up to the boil that is in the middle of Cetus. So defend that drone while you're on there. And then after that, you will be fighting at the boil. Now, I believe it's very, very simple. If you did not put any of the mixing juices in there, then you won't get the Hematite to spawn. However, if you want the extra rewards from the Hematite, which of course are the Hunter's mods, one of the most popular ones being Hunter's Adrenaline. Not Hunter, oh yeah, Hunter's Adrenaline is good. And then there's also Hunter's Munitions. Those two tend to be the most popular ones of the bunch. Those ones drop from the Hematite. So basically, if you want those, you're gonna have to spawn the Hematite. And what ends up happening is if you put one of the catalysts and one of the Phylaxises in, I believe, oh no, it's just the infested catalyst. So if you put one of the infested catalysts in, you'll get a spawn at 99%. So you'll get 1 of the Hematites. If you put 2 in, then you'll get them towards the end, which is like 75 and 99. And then if you put 3 in, then it's 50, 75, 99. And then if you put 4 in, it's 25, 50, 75, 99. It just makes sense. It's at every 4th, basically, of what happens. Then after you go ahead and defeat all the infested, you just take all your loot and you go back and you're done with your day. And then you get more points and whatnot. So that's basically what that all kind of boils down to. It's very, very simple and easy. However, one of the things that I do want you guys to be aware of is they did make the Hematite a little bit more difficult to kill this time, a little bit less cheesy. But I'm gonna show you just a little bit of a ways to cheese it. So let's go ahead and jump into the build, then we'll take a look at some gameplay. Alright, so for those of you guys who have played Operation Plaguestar before, this is probably no kind of surprise to you whatsoever. We are using the Rhino Stomp trick. Now, the key to the Rhino Stomp trick is basically Rhino's Stomp is technically a slow. It's like a 99% slow. It launches enemies up into the air and it slows them as they are falling. And basically what ends up happening is the Hematite, instead of, you know, being launched up into the air, it actually just kind of slows down. Now this effect can be also created by Nova and her Molecular Prime if you guys want to slow it down, or also Hero can do it with his chains. But listen, I'm going out into public missions, I really don't want like all of the complexities of Harrow, and some people are not very, very fond of having Nova on there because they feel like the slow is too uncontrollable. Listen, so I just do this. This is my current setup. I am using Ironclad Charge here, and the reason that I like to have that on there is because if my Iron Skin does perchance go down in the middle of the fight, I can Ironclad Charge through like a bunch of infested, toss back up my Iron Skin, and then boom, I'm impervious from all of the poison damage, the clouds and all of that kind of stuff, and I've got a good amount of shielding that is on me. Again, this isn't like a super highly perfected or crazy technical build because I'm not a big old Rhino main, but I'm just gonna let you be aware. It's made taking on the Hematite super, super easy. I've also got 2 Arcane Energizes just because it's, you know, it's energy. Why fucking not have it there, right? Next thing, as you can see in my loadout, I have the Quanta Vandal. I like beam weapons for this. I've seen a lot of other people successfully use snipers, the Opticore, like a lot of that stuff. For me personally, I just like the beams. It's easy. It's just the Quanta Vandal. There's nothing too crazy on it. I probably could go Radiation on this, but I'm too lazy to change it over. Here's the Atmos. We're using the Atmos with Heat and Corrosive. This is what I use for crowd clearing because the Quanta Vandal is basically solely for taking on the Hematite. The Atmos is more along the lines of taking on just kind of the infested. So it's like if we're just getting overrun, or if the Hematite becomes in the area, or you know becomes within a part of the Ancient Disruptor's aura, or becomes affected. Oh my god, listen, it's 2:30 in the morning. I don't know why I'm recording this video now, but I figured you guys wanted to see it. Y'all requested it on the stream, so I'm doing it for the kids, okay? So this is what I bring in just for some crowd clearing, especially if like some of your allies go down and you actually want to help them, so you can just clear whatever mess they're in, go and res them, and you know, be the hero of the day. Let's take a quick look at the build here. It's nothing out of the ordinary. Basically, you can swap this out, and in fact, because of the fact that you're taking on the Hematite, you can actually go ahead and put in the 90% damage things. Again, like I said, I'm too lazy because, listen, I don't really, there's no new rewards in this event for me, so I'm really just doing this because I love and care for you guys. So just put the 90% mods in there. You can put the, you can go ahead and put Radiation on there as well because you're going to be stripping armor. Then this is basically my standard build. I do have a Riven for it, but you guys know that I don't like to show off the Rivens, but this is an infested and damage plus Riven, but you can go ahead and use this build. Here, okay, so you see that build? I'm putting my Riven, and it's damaged and damaged infested. So it's just so you're aware, I do this because I love you. And then the last bit, we are using the Sarpa. My build on this is made for specifically taking on the Hematite. The reason why I use the Sarpa is because we can get Shattering Impact on this, and I don't want to hear anybody in the comments saying, Rob, you said Shattering Impact is bad. In general, Shattering Impact is bad. But in this case, you can use Shattering Impact to go ahead and strip a large chunk of the armor off of the Hematite. And because of the fact that you're Rhino and you just kind of want to position yourself in an area you can just hold your ground, you can go ahead and just Shattering Impact them until they lose all of their armor, then boom, you're all happy and dandy. My normal Sarpa build on this, however, does have Weeping Wounds because we are using Buzzkill on there. I don't use the Sarpa for actual combat, but let's go ahead and just kind of take a look at how that all plays out in actual gameplay. Am I gonna do actual gameplay right now? Yeah, let's do actual gameplay. Alright, so we've got ourselves the last one here, and as you can see, I'm just going through and I'm using the Sarpa to kind of reduce the amount of armor on him, and once he's ready to go, you just go ahead and give him a nice little stomp. Our Nova's already slowed him a good bit, but as you can see here, his vulnerable spot is up, so it's always nice to kind of just do that. Now I'm waiting on the other side. Let's give our team a little bit of a roar. and we just basically wait till they've opened their flats, and then we start shooting on in, and then we just deal our damage. Once you see he stops taking damage, that means he's pretty much dead. Now we just jump onto this last side, and we just wait for this one to kind of get vulnerable, and we could go ahead and stop now. And then we could shoot him in his weak spot, and he is dead, and is literally just as easy as that. So basically for your rhinos, all you really got to do is just make sure you're stomping at the right time when the weakness is out. Alright, we can head on over to Nakak. I'm going to be honest, I find her annoying as all hell, except I do like this dark side of her, which she runs kind of like this underworld supply chain. And she has a pretty cool name, Nakak. So click on operational supply. The other one just takes you to her normal, like, you know, her normal setup. But as you can see here, you've got different levels: champion, defender, and collaborator. So collaborator is the lowest, champion being the highest. So you can just jump on in, and if you haven't already picked it up, always pick up your little emblem so you know you participated in the event. As you can see, I've got a shit ton of Cetus Wisps. That's just for me collecting and doing bounties and whatnot. But if you're not a big Cetus Wisp farmer, you can definitely go ahead and pick it up there. However, if you don't mind farming Cetus Wisps yourself by doing bounties, it's not necessarily the top of my list. For the people out there who hate gem farming, you have your Radiant Centrum and your Heart Nith. These are key for crafting Exodias and all of the other kind of like arcanes that are available here. Then we of course have some of the fishing items as well. I wish there was almost more fishing items in there, because I really can't be bothered with learning how to fish, even though I know that I should, and I'm probably going to buy some Kuthal tendrils just because I don't want to have to purchase them in the market or actually learn how to do it. These are a couple mods that you might not be seeing so much, but Fulmination is basically like Firestorm for secondaries, which means that you can kill yourself even more with your Coal Stars and your what is it called, the one that I hate, the one that's like missile rockets. Listen, I hate all of them. I hate all of the self-damage ones because I'm gonna die. Sacrifice, as you guys know, is a sentinel thing where it tries to revive you for 4 seconds. It can die in those 4 seconds, just letting you know. I've seen it happen. But if it does manage to get through that, it will go ahead and bring you back. Couple that with regen, and you get lots and lots of revives out of that, if it makes it out alive. I'm just saying. Anyway, moving along, we've got Forma. This tends to be the standout reward. A lot of people really like getting pre-crafted Forma and not having to wait for it to build. I probably will end up stocking up on a couple of these myself. It's nice and convenient, and I really, like I was saying, there are no new rewards that are available in this, so it's a little bit of a downer. Now, for those of you guys who are still at some of the lower levels and you haven't gotten the Eidolon Flaxus yet, grab that as soon as you can so that you can get more points towards the operational supply. Snipetron Blueprint and Ether Daggers. If you are not a veteran and you don't have either one of those, or you destroyed your Ether Daggers during one of the quests, because I think you get the blueprints during one of your quests, and I think you might be able to sell them or something. If you want to get your hands back on them, you've got the opportunity here. Now, as you can see, I've got Exodia Contagion and Exodia Epidemic. I've got several sets of them already, but as the Contagion is, number one, you'll kill yourself with this, but it's hilarious. Basically, anytime you bullet jump or double jump in the air, you can do a melee attack, and it'll throw a projectile that deals AoE viral damage. I'll go ahead and link a video to that at the end of this, or I'll put a card up there as well. Epidemic is very, very similar. So whenever you bullet jump or double jump, when you do a ground slam, it'll send out the shockwave that kind of suspends enemies up in the air. It's basically like Rhino's Iron Stomp, but just in a line. Now, the Plague Aquin blueprint, not necessarily my favorite. I actually like the QR, just the standard QR, a little bit better, and I feel like its damage output and its speed is a little bit better. If you crunch the DPS, it comes out to be on... This does not come out to be on top. The QR does come out to be on top for that, and in a not slow, ridiculous way. Now, of course, we have the two heads, which are the Plague Kripath and the Plague QR. Quath was the one I was thinking about. Quath instead of that one. And I was like, oh my god, QR is the head. QR is the scythe head, so if you pair that with the Plague Aquin, you'll get a scythe. If you play it with the Kripath, you'll get a Rapier. So the Plague Kiwar is basically the status one of the two, and it's got viral damage built in. Same thing happens for the Kripath. It's got viral damage built in, but this one's got a little bit more base crit. Again, I've already linked the videos, but maybe I'll put together like a playlist for you guys to check out as well, so you can go through this. Now, the other one that I think you should highly get is the Plague Bokwin. Plague Bokwin, definitely a must. As you guys know, I don't like the slow base Zaws. I hate them. So I'm willing to take a little bit of a hit to damage in order to get a little bit more speed. And if you do the math, the Plague Bokwin comes out, it's actually the second best, but the first fastest at the best. Does that make sense? It's like if you don't want the slow, hard-hitting one, this one is fast and has the next highest DPS range as that one. So definitely that's a must. And then of course, get as much head as you possibly can, because you never know what you're going to end up putting them on. And because of the fact that they've got built-in viral damage, yes. Get yourself at least one copy of each. These are super cheap. They're only 500 a piece. So go ahead and grab your 10, craft them up. And then after you've crafted them up, you really don't need any more, because you can just kind of place them into your builds. But if you want some, just in case you need to give them to a friend or you need to save some for yourself, that's what you do. The rest of these rewards are basically, what don't you want to farm? And you know what? Some people don't want to farm. So if you don't want to farm for Forma Blueprints, or if you don't want to farm for this, and you got to think about this with the Forma being here too. One of the awesome things about this is that if you do start cracking relics, you don't have to take the Forma option. You could actually just take a normal blueprint option if you want, and that means you get you'll get ducats. So think of this as almost, if you are in need of Forma, this is also going to be bonus ducats for you and less building time all in all. Now, the last thing that I do kind of want to go over is the Hunter's Munitions mod real quick, and those ones actually come off of the Hematite. So for those of you guys wondering, well, what's the point of getting the Hematite? Well, there are some mods that are definitely worth it. So I'm gonna type in Hunters. What did I do? Hunter, real quick. So the big one that we actually really fond of is Hunter's Adrenaline. It converts part of the damage dealt to you into energy. So basically, what it is it is a, what do you call this? It's rage. It's rage, but it's rage at an improved rate. We've got Hunter's Munitions, of course, which is the 30% chance to apply slash on a critical hit. So you get slash damage on weapons that you might not necessarily usually get slash damage out of. This is really great for snipers. It's really great for some of those semi-automatics that have a high chance to proc and have like high base damage and high critical chance. Fantastic for those. I did a video where I basically tested it on every weapon out there. Hunter's Recovery, I'm actually very fond of as well. Basically, you know how you have I think it's called Pack Leader, where when you deal melee damage to an enemy, that heals your pet. Well, this is the other way around. Whenever your pet deals damage, this heals you. So, you know, all those people running around saying, oh, well, your Sentinel can heal you, so can your pet. So any of your Kubros, any of your Kavats, they can all deal that for you. Hunter's Track, I don't really use, just to be real with you. Hunter's Command is a cool thought, but it's not necessarily like my biggest thing. It's basically when you apply a slash proc to an enemy, it causes the companion to attack them for 6 seconds. It's like a taunt for your pet. However, my pet builds are really tight, so I don't even use that one. Hunter's Synergy is a crit link, so basically it takes your primary weapon's critical stuff, and what ends up happening is it transfers it to your pet. So this is you to your pet. Hunter's Bonesaw is nothing, because that's that's a completely different thing for a different weapon. So basically, those are what you're gonna end up seeing is these 6 right here, the ones that you really want: munitions, adrenaline, and recovery. Those are your go-tos. But that about does it for me for now. I hope that guide was helpful for you at all. Best of luck for those of you guys who are going to be farming this event. Me personally, like I was stating, there's nothing in it for veterans that already hardcore farmed it the first time around. So really, I'm gonna get back to farming vaulted relics. That's what I'm gonna be on. But best of luck to you guys. Hopefully this setup helps you, and hopefully also that you guys got to take a look at the footage that I collected earlier. You kind of got to see exactly how Nova affects the thing, because you can see how like she kind of slows down the entire battlefield, which is handy for sometimes, not super handy for other times. And that about does it for me for now. So as always, love somebody, hurt nobody, and touch yo hematite. I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye!